information to this or any other congressional committee, unquote. Then she refused to answer lawmakers' questions, invoking her constitutional right against self-incrimination.
Well, everybody ends up hanging themselves eventually. Excuse me. You know,
except conservative Republicans. They get good jobs after they do wrong, etc. I give you Oliver North, Mr. Liddy, etc., etc., and that woman from Alaska who can see Russia from her back door.
Nailing Palin. Sarah Palin.
Judith Miller, etc., etc.
Oh yeah, you become, if you're infamous, they turn it into fame.
Correct.
In a positive way.
Correct.
Infamy becomes a positive thing, just like conservatives say that selfishness is a virtue. You know, but sometimes Democrats do it too. Look at Brother Weiner. Anthony Weiner is running for mayor of New York. I think he should get a sponsor like Ballpark Franks or Oscar Mayer.
Well,
because of his last name, Weiner.
Why can't he say? Why can't he say what Mark Sanford said down in South Carolina?
What?
God forgave him.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah, well,
get on with our lives, baby.
They'll be all over him, of course,
him.
and he expects it. He expects them to be all the Republican adversaries to be all over Anthony Weiner. But as far as doing his job went, I thought he was outstanding. What was he, a congressman or a senator of New York State? Anthony Weiner.
Weiner in Congress.
Congressman Anthony Weiner, was it? Yeah, I thought he did an excellent job. He was very outspoken. He fought for the little guy, smart as a whip. I mean,
not smart enough to keep his dick in his pants, though.
I'm his Weiner. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for him. I really hope he runs to the end, whether he wins or loses, and it might make him more popular than ever. The guy the man who emailed his or posted photos of his genitalia and his naked body on Twitter, I believe. As long as the females he was sending it to were not minors, that's the main thing. That's the important thing. Otherwise, his career otherwise he would be in prison now. Not have a political career at all.
Oh, I don't know about that. Mr. Liddy came out of prison. He's got a good job on Fox. Well respected.
G. Gordon Liddy, yeah?
Yeah. Concerning the reading we just did, you ignored the most important issue of this debate. While I, too, would not tolerate lies from either the Internal Revenue Service or these political groups, your editorial only addressed half of the problem. The review of applications for tax-exempt status by the IRS often requires the applicants to respond to questions and to provide additional information.
Mm-hmm.
At times, their demands can be quite onerous. See, so as I said before, so far, unless things really change, the IRS did nothing wrong.
In reality, no.
Per se.
No, they didn't.
This is done primarily to determine if the applicant qualifies as an exempt organization, and further that the application has been made under the appropriate code section. The problem was created by the applicants, not the IRS. Internal Revenue Code Section 527 recognizes the exempt status of political groups. Had these groups applied under Section 527, there should have been no problem.
They applied with false information.
Well, they were claiming that they were a charity
Yeah,
or a social organization,
because they didn't feel
and
like,
not a political one.
because they did not feel like paying taxes. Because they're stingy and greedy and they're conservatives.
However, application was made under Code Section 501c4. This code requires that the applicant be a social welfare organization and specifically prohibits political campaign activity. Neither code section allows for the tax deductibility of contributions to such entities. So why would a political group try so hard to qualify as a 501c4? The answer is simple.
What?
527s must disclose their donors,
Yeah.
whereas 501c4s do not.
Yeah, the Republican Party, they need C4, or right, blow them to smithereens with C4.
They don't want to disclose their donors, like in Citizens United.
Because their donors is themselves. Right?
And crooks.
Crooks.
Okay.
Right? Crooks, cronies, crooked cronies.
Yeah. Big rich people like the Koch brothers.
Oh, you ever see their
Coors.
face, their miserable faces, what they look like? Ugh. They look demonic. Koch brothers.
Why shouldn't the IRS demand clarification and justification from these groups, be they politically left or right? Remember, these entities are asking to be excused from their obligation to pay taxes. The Record, the newspaper in question, did a disservice to its readers by completely ignoring the underlying issue. All the editorial staff had to do was look up the regulations. See, so that goes back to what I said before. They were only doing their job, the IRS. All they wanted to do was make it a little easier by saying, okay, we're going to put these Tea Party people and Patriot people in this group here to so that we can look at them. They separated them from the other 70,000 or whatever the hell it was. That's all they did. Make it faster and easier. Okay?
Listen, you greedy, corrupt, right-wing elitists. Just pay your fair share in taxes and shut the hell up. That's it. Just shut the hell up. Stop bitching and moaning and pay. You're still living high on the hog, even if you pay your fair share in taxes. Which is still not, in my opinion, fair share.
No.
Because fair share would be the 91% tax rate of FDR, Truman, and Eisenhower. That would be fair, but but they're crying about what, 35-40%?
Well, 39.6, I believe it is right now. Top rate.
No, I mean they're crying
Top
now.
rate.
I mean, but the richer you are, the less you pay.
That's what it seems. Gee, back in the good old days, it was the more you made, the more you paid.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be. If you don't want to pay more, make less. Don't make as much. Sure is windy out there.
Yes, it is. We got gusty going on.
Gusty.
Yeah.
With gusto. Gust with gusto. All right, what do we got there, Chief?
I am tired of hearing so-called free market advocates panning a living wage for the working poor. As long as corporations can transfer the cost of keeping their workers fed, healthy, clothed, and housed onto us taxpayers, they will do so. It's foolish to let such employers control the markets with low prices while they make enormous profits. They are well aware that a decent society won't let its workers starve, live in a cardboard box, or succumb to illnesses or medical system can readily treat.
Yeah, unless it kills you.
Adopting the minimum wage increase, which will be on the ballot throughout New Jersey on November the 5.
Yeah, increase to an accurate, fair minimum wage that keeps up with the cost of living. Not the bullshit that they have now.
You're not going to get that.
No?
Anyway.
So, all right, so the poor...
You know, what is it, $9 and something or they want to go to?
That's still below the cost of living.
It's still below the over 30 years when it did not go up properly with the cost of living.
Well, look at the restaurant employees. What is it, $2.13 an hour?
13 cents an hour, yeah.
$2.13 an hour because they get tips? Give me a break. We did that last week, I think.
Yeah. Is the least that we can do to even the playing field for right-minded businesses, small and large. We did not read the big article that I have here about these, but maybe we can just read this little insert here. My son is a member of the military. It amazes me that you bury a story of 6 Americans killed by a suicide bomber. I had to put on Fox News to actually get updated and accurate information because you felt this story didn't deserve page 1 consideration. Where are your priorities? I guess the story about cicada bugs was more important, in your view, than our brave Americans overseas. What a disgrace.
Well, the cicada bugs happen once every 17 years. So I would say that's headline news, but I still feel there should have been room for the servicemen losing their lives if it was, you know, if it took place during that week. I still think the paper should have put that article in.
Correct.
You know, but the cicada bugs is headline news. I'm sorry. You know, I mean, 17 years, they come out of the ground and breed.
Getting back to the IRS.
Yeah.
Lately, we have been inundated by the criticisms of the IRS for how it targeted Tea Party groups in regard to applications of exemption under 501c4 of the tax code.
Poor little tea baggers.
But very little is written about the purpose and effect of this action. The 501c4 status is for the purpose and promotion of charitable organizations. Since when has a political party become a charitable organization?
Hey, even big charitable organizations have cheated the system and gotten in trouble. You know, I mean, I'm not talking about politics, I'm talking about pocketing the money. Having the people running it, you know, pocketing the money with this mysterious administrative costs that they have, whereas people should be volunteering their time if it's a charity.
The use of these tax-exempt funds for political purposes is a misleading and illegal act that should result in the revocation of tax-exempt status. The IRS code should be amended to disqualify any charitable organization from its tax-exempt status if it donates its funds for any purpose other than the charity. Bingo!
You hear that? It's all about being honest, that's all.
Bingo, bingo.
Bingo bango. Well, I'm glad we started early because, you know what I forgot to say?
Oh.
Good goobledy-goo, as
Geez.
Grady Wilson from Sanford and Son used to say. I believe it is Memorial Day weekend 2013.
Yes, it is.
Is it really?
Yes.
This Monday, right now it's Saturday, the 25th, but this Monday is Memorial Day weekend, and this is the official opening of all beaches in the United States, and because the Jersey Shore is such a ripoff, I'm very happy that we're having cold weather. So, I salute all you fools out there that are going to be stuck in possible bumper-to-bumper traffic on the highways. It's not going to be me, but you're all happy Memorial Day weekend 2013 to America, and you won't have barbecue weather until Monday because Monday in this area, New York metropolitan area, will be 77 degrees. And Sunday will be sunny, but it will be 69 degrees. So I would say comfortable barbecuing weather will be on Memorial Day weekend and the rest of the week. So, have a safe, happy Memorial Day weekend. Of course, people will party and not even celebrate the true meaning of Memorial Day.
I wonder why they put Memorial Day on this weekend as Monday, which would be the 27th.
Yes.
Why did they not do it on the 31st? Friday.
Is that the actual Memorial Day?
The actual Memorial Day is 30.
The 30th of May.
Correct.
Yeah.
So why didn't they do that?
Because they like to put all the national holidays on a Monday so the retail industry can have their
But on Friday, you still would have got the 3-day weekend.
holiday sales.
You still would have got the 3-day weekend.
Oh, you're right about that.
So what made them do that? Anyway, it screwed up my banking.
Oh, I get it.
Okay?
All right, don't divulge any personal information.
I don't give any personal information, but it screwed me up, and that's personal enough.
That's personal enough.
I don't like to be screwed up.
Neither do I. But I sure love a good barbecue, man.
Well, then, if you like a barbecue, pour on the olive oil.
Why?
Preferably over fish and vegetables.
Extra virgin olive oil.
One of the longest and most scientific tests of a Mediterranean diet suggests this style of eating can cut the chance of suffering heart-related problems, especially strokes, in older people at high risk.
Make sure it's real cold-pressed olive oil that is a dark forest or jade green. Extra virgin olive oil, man. Or like Justin Wilson used to say, the Cajun man, Cajun cook, used to say, he used to say olivo. He couldn't pronounce olive oil. He used to say olivo.
That's that new guy, Louisiana chef down there. He says he calls Germans Jarmans.
Charmin? Like
Jarmans.
Like the bathroom tissue?
Jarmans, like Jarmans.
Jarmans.
Because a lot of Jarmans, settled in Louisiana.
Well, the French.
Back when.
The French too.
And the French, the Creoles, etc.
It was part of the Louisiana Purchase, right?
Yeah, one of the most smartest things that Thomas Jefferson ever did.
The Louisiana Purchase was not Louisiana. It was the whole friggin' Midwest.
Correct.
And it was owned by the French.
And I believe we only paid like $15 million.
Actually, the name Detroit, the city of Detroit, Michigan, Detroit is a French word which means straits.
Well, if it's a French word, it would be pronounced the Detroit.
Well,
T's are silent.
The land where Detroit was built on is the separation of, I believe, Lake Erie into Lake Michigan, something like that. When Lake Erie flows into Lake Michigan, that land is called the Strait, like the Straits of Magellan. And Straits in French is Detroit, but I'm sure it's not spelled Detroit. I mean, I'm sure it's not pronounced Detroit.
No.
In France, I'm sure there's another pronunciation.
I say, in France, if a word ends in a T, the T is silent.
Detroit.
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 Detroit. Something
Detroit.
like
Detroit. Something like that. But anyway, it was.
But we call it Detroit because we are in America.
It was smart, like the purchase of Alaska.
Seward's Folly.
Seward's Folly from the Russians, right? And also the purchase of Manhattan Island from the Indians, which was a complete rip-off of the Native Americans. I mean, the Dutch were very cheap in what they paid the Indians to acquire Manhattan.
You ever hear of Shooter's Island?
No.
Over there in New York Harbor?
Well, there's
Used
Governor's...
to build boats over there.
There's Governor's Island.
And Shooter's Island,
Yeah.
they brought in dirt and everything and made it bigger. Once upon a time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's still that way? Well,
I guess the land didn't go bye-bye.
Well, the beaches on the Florida Keys, they brought in that sand from the Bahamas, because the Florida Keys are naturally all rocky with limestone rock and coral fragments, and they're not sandy beaches, so they brought in sand and they created the beaches. It's not true sand; they're actually little microscopic sea creatures. No, it's not silica.
That's not sand.
The white sand of the Caribbean are like pulverized pieces of dead coral and these little
diatoms.
These little sea animals that have passed on, and it looks like sand.
Speaking of passed on, you just made a image in my mind. I was reading Time magazine this morning.
Yeah.
And they were dealing with the tragedy in Oklahoma.
Oh, the twisters, yes, the F4 and F5 tornadoes.
And it showed a bunch dead horses
that died.
They were. One guy said there was a cow floating by.
Yeah, Mother Nature.
He wasn't jumping over the moon.
So when Chris Christie says that New Jerseyans are tougher than Mother Nature, think twice. A horse weighs a lot more than Chris Christie. At least I think he does. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Yes, we do not know the governor's correct weight. Okay? So we are only supposing.
Guesstimating.
The study lasted 5 years and involved 7,500 people in Spain. Those who ate Mediterranean style with lots of olive oil or nuts had a 30% lower risk of major cardiovascular problems compared to those who were told to follow a low-fat diet, but who, in reality, did not cut fat very much. What the hell was whatchamacallit doing today? You notice the Cook's Country cooking show on TV with Christopher Kimball?
I've never seen it.
Well, anyway, they make some kind of meals. They try to make it better than the original, this, that, and the other thing. Anyway, he was testing pancake mixes. Guess what was in some of the pancake mixes in place of butter or oil?
Hydrogenated fat.
Correct!
I know that. Just read a box of Aunt Jemima or Bisquick. Read it. There's partially hydrogenated oil in there, trans fats. I make my own. Now you know why I make my own pancake batter from scratch? Now you know why I do that? I always knew that. I wouldn't use Bisquick or Aunt
Not that I
Jemima.
eat that stuff, but I wouldn't, so I wouldn't know what was in it. But
You know
it
how
just
many
shocked me.
people told me they like to use it because they grew up watching the commercial with that lady's picture on the front box?
Aunt Jemima?
These stupid American consumers. They don't even bother to read the ingredients.
Give it to Mikey. See if Mikey likes it. He likes
Well,
it.
Mikey will eat anything.
Mikey likes it.
Mikey hates everything. I'm sorry. No, it's on the internet. My homemade from scratch whole grain sourdough pancake mix, both vegan and non-vegan. It's very easy to make, but no way, man. We did a show about Skippy and peanut butter and Nutella.
Well, that's Skippy peanut butter stuff, but this was
Trans fat, Oreo cookies,
I mean, this is a powder. A powder.
Reese's peanut butter cup, trans fats.
Oh God.
You think
I love those things.
You think it's real peanut butter?
Not that I eat them, but I love those things.
No, maybe originally it was real peanut butter.
Like the Mary Janes. Remember the Mary Janes?
I remember that. I remember the Drake's coffee cake. I remember the Hostess pies. I remember my favorite was the Tasty Cake dark chocolate cupcakes. I always liked the
With the swirls,
the
white
devil's
swirls.
food, the dark chocolate,
Yeah, the white
Yeah.
swirls on top.
like German chocolate cake, dark chocolate. Yeah, right, but it was chocolate.
Mediterranean mint. Lots of fruit, fish, chicken, beans, tomato sauce,
Raw vegetables,
Salad.
salads, right?
and wine. A little in the way of baked goods and pastries. Mediterranean diets have long been touted as heart healthy, but that's based on observational studies. The new research is much stronger because people were assigned diets to follow for a long time and carefully monitored. Doctors even did lab tests to verify the Mediterranean diet folks were consuming more olive oil or nuts as recommended. Most of these people were taking medicines for high cholesterol and blood pressure. And researchers did not alter those proven treatments. But as a first step to prevent heart problems, we think diet is better than a drug because it has few side effects. Diet works. Results were published online Monday by the New England Journal of Medicine and were discussed at a nutrition conference in Loma Linda, California. People in the study were not given rigid menus or calorie goals because weight loss was not the aim. That could be why they found the diets easy to stick with. Only about 7% dropped out. There were twice as many dropouts in the low-fat group than among those eating Mediterranean style. Researchers also provided the nuts and olive oil, so it didn't cost the participants anything to use these ingredients.
I could tell you why the low-fat group dropped out. Because without fat, there's no flavor.
That's correct.
A friend of mine who has very severe asthma who was just discharged from the hospital. The first thing the doctors did was put her on a low-fat diet because her